If all that you want is, darling, know the world is yours. I've been up chasing the sunsets just to see if there's more. 'Cause it's been so long since I tried to love. It's been so long since I tried to love. It's been so long since I tried to love. It's been so long since I tried to love.
Welcome to the Sparkle Show. With us today, we have Dean and Samantha. Hi, guys. Okay, so you're coming out with a new show I've never heard of anything like this. Tell us a little bit about it and what it's called.
Well, Sparkle, thank you very much. So the show is called On the Patio. Been in production about 2 years. And it just,
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, it's been kind of a hobby on the off season in between, work and other work. But yeah, we're focusing on A-list people, good people, hand-picked people that are doing things in the industry such as music, acting, people that are fighting human trafficking, people that are doing things off camera that necessarily aren't known to the masses.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of work, but a lot of reward. And so one of the people that was our first guest on the show, his name is Tony Sheena. He's been a big inspiration and a big mentor for me and the show. He is originally from South Africa. He is the undefeated heavyweight champion in karate of the world.
What do you mean? What kind of karate?
Standard karate. He's the undefeated heavyweight.
Undefeated?
Yes. Vetted special ops, covert op, retired. Now fights human trafficking, has a security firm.
Very interesting person, yeah.
Very interesting man. Has been labeled the real life James Bond.
How do we not hear about this stuff? And it always fascinates me because I read these articles and I'll always zoom in on something and then I'll tell people and they'll be like, really, that happened?
Yeah.
Or about people. I mean, like that one actress from the George Lopez show, the one that played the daughter. I mean, she had she had a book published by the time she was 15. She's actually very accomplished and we just don't hear about this.
You don't.
Why is that? How do you hear about this? How do you know who to go to even know this bit of information?
Well, there's kind of an undercurrent of the industry and people that I might work with or I've worked with before, or just like in your industry and the industry of which everyone else swims in, there's a network. And in that network, it isn't always mainstream. So I decided to take that splinter and turn it into something more than what it normally is, which is just that splinter that goes undetected, that people don't hear about. So another artist, another client, another person that is mainstream A-class talent, but never gets that recognition because the front person of a band, a group, an organization is usually the spokesman or the face of that group. And so the show has a lot of potential to take and bring a light to someone, such as the keyboardist backing vocalist for Aerosmith. Well, sure, everyone knows who Steven Tyler is, or Joe Perry, but you certainly won't know who Buck Johnson is, the keyboardist and backing vocalist in the group. So that's kind of the formula, and I handpick the people that are great people on and off stage I've worked with, I've been around, I call extended family, because they deserve that recognition, that spotlight or showcase. And so we've evolved in the last 2 years, and Sam and about 4 other women are now the Patio Girls. And that's taking a new form of how we're going to bring more content to the show. Now with COVID, we have the access and opportunity to work with other artists who are, let's face it, not touring.
At the moment,
right.
due to the fact,
I mean, there were some advantages, and you got to take advantage of it.
Unfortunately, yes, and it helps them too because these artists are not on tour. They're not flying around the world. So
And they like to do that community
Yeah.
outreach and just kind of give back there, so they have that opportunity now that they're kind of just hanging at home and
Right.
catching up here and there. So
and it works well for you as well because you're getting content. Everyone needs content these
Right.
days. Even with live streaming and live shows and live performances, everyone needs content. And that's what's
Yeah,
keeping the business alive at the moment.
And COVID is an opportunity for things like this. I mean, we want to focus on the positive, and the positive was that you got to do that show. I actually changed studios during COVID and came to KP Studios because they were allowing me to do interviews from around the world, and that's
Right.
what I've always wanted. So it's a bigger audience, a bigger network. I can reach bigger people,
Sure.
more people. And Samantha, I think it's really brilliant because when I met you, I mean, this girl's like a philanthropist, and a lot of people just don't know. Tell us a little bit about what you can about the other job that you have helping others.
So I wouldn't call it a job. I'd call it a hobby, or more so just something that my soul needs to do in order to stay happy, to be honest. But reaching out into the community is something that I've done every Tuesday for the last 6.5 years. So it's a group of roughly 5 to 15 people every Tuesday who meet up. We meet up at 10 a.m. and we make anywhere between 150 to 300 sandwiches. We do PB&Js. Of course, we are COVID compliant, wearing our masks and gloves. And then we do snacks, usually some kind of a softer snack, a banana. We do a fruit, sometimes two. We try to pack them as well as we can, just a brown paper bag lunch, and then we toss the water in there as well. And we go around driving through the community of Fresno. No particular place, if you will. I have my own routes. Some of the other drivers have the places that they go, and our friendly faces that show up when they can, when they're off work, things like that, they kind of fill in the in-betweens. But we quite literally just drive around Fresno, and everybody sees the homeless, or home free as we like to call them, on the streets. I mean, in this town, that's happened to a lot of people, and there are a lot of lives out there that need a hand to reach out. So we go ahead and pull up on the side of the road and flick our hazards on and say, "Hi, would you like a sack lunch and a bottle of water?" And it really brightens up their day. My favorite thing to hear back is, "You're right on time," because they're hungry. And yeah, it's something that we've done for over 6 years now, and quite a few people have reached out to us and let us know that it's time we turn it into something a bit bigger. So we are now in the process of getting our nonprofit. The organization is called Pages People, and I will be over here talking about it with you, I believe, next week or a couple of weeks from now, a little bit more. But there's a long story behind how Pages People came about, and it's a very heartfelt, heartwarming story. It's tragic in a way, but it's going to bring new light and shed light on our community through Page, and you guys will hear more about that when I come back.
And that's great because, there's so many misconceptions, and I could just see a lot of people going, well, are you really safe going out there and giving lunches, being a cute, young girl? And but they're just people like me and you, and they're actually probably some of the most friendly, safest people you could be around.
Me having my route that I like to do, I usually do Roding Park and make my way back through Olive and McKinley. But yeah, so over the first few years, even some of the people within the organization, I was not allowed to go out without somebody with me, and it's the same for everybody. Anybody who's coming in new, we definitely make sure that there's somebody with them. We try to go in buddy pairs, but on my particular route, I've come to form some relationships with these people, and they're very nice individuals who I enjoy seeing every week and checking up on. So it's not quite as out there and dangerous as you'd think, of course. Things happen, but I know in our group we stay safe, and we've been lucky enough not to have any kind of fiasco that could possibly happen that you'd imagine. But yeah, it's really nice to know that there are so many people in your community wanting to reach out and do those things. We have groups of people all across the United States over the last 6 years that have reached out just from friends,
Wow.
friends of friends, things like that want to do that, and now they're just, it's awesome. You
That's
just
gotta
come
feel
together on
rewarding.
Tuesdays and make some peanut butter and jellies, and and you give back to your community. It's
I love that.
almost selfish. It's so rewarding. It's amazing because you really, I don't know, personally, I really make connections with these people, and I care, if I don't see somebody a week or two in a row, I start to wonder, and I go looking for them.
Wow.
So
You found a good one in this
I
one.
did. No, I did.
Tell us a little bit about the other patio girls.
So we have a couple professional models and a couple girls that have aspired to be in modeling or doing photo and video shoots. And so with Samantha and a few other people networking and cross-pollinating with the introductions, we have, I think we're up to about 6 people in rotation. And the premise was of, obviously, no one wants to look at my face all the time. I'm in my late 60s here. I'm going to be 70 in about 2 weeks.
You're lying.
And so I thought it'd be a great way to bring people that enjoy something that they do, which is modeling, or people that enjoy being out there when it comes to videos or photos, but not take it on a spin to exploit or turn it into a negative manner, but tastefully, with class,
Right.
and actually give them an opportunity to be involved in the show other than just standing and looking pretty.
Right.
So that's the next step that we're going to take. It's going to take a lot of time, and some of the infrastructure is going to come to fruition as soon as we get past some of the limitations that we have at the moment. And in the meantime, we're doing some interviews and some PSAs and some sizzles and some teasers, and it's picking up traffic, and it's picking up the press, and that's all we can imagine that we can ask for, because it is a community effort. We're looking at people that are local, trying to give local business an opportunity to reciprocate as well, and so it's been really good so far. It's been a lot of fun working with some women that are absolutely on fire when it comes to being involved and engaged and supporting the cause of the show, because everyone needs a team.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that too, because being a patio girl, I mean, it's super awesome that we get to connect. Well, me personally and a couple of the other girls, we're really into rock and roll, older 80s rock and the new stuff. But there's so many people that we get in contact with and have a new respect for, having been able to interview them and everything. And it's really cool when you're growing up and you listen to these bands and they're still playing, and they put on, honestly, I've been to a lot of concerts, quite a better show than most of our generation, my generation, does on stage today. So to really be able to feel that, see that, be there, and bring it full circle back around into my life and be a part of a show that exploits rock and roll. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, most of the show Sparkle is centric around the music industry.
Absolutely.
It's where I work, for the most part. And so Sam's referring to a few artists that we've had access to do some music videos and some interviews and some segments with, and they're just regular people.
Of course.
But to bring the girls, if you will, into the fold and mix that, like I said, in a tasteful way, it just brings more content. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. It gets hectic because you've got deadlines, you've got people, you've got press, you've got obviously gear and crew.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun. I'm grateful. I could not do this without the team. And as you know, it takes a team in everything in life. And so you can pretend that you're doing it all, but it's not really true. It takes a great team, networking, patience, and cooperation. I'm sure there's things that I need to work on, and vice versa. But at the end of the day, we all agree on the focus and the goal, and that's putting out a great content and a great show, and we have fun doing it. And if we're not having fun doing it, we need to stop and refocus.
So tell us a little bit about your background and what you do with the bands.
So with one of the backgrounds that I've been very grateful and blessed to be involved in is working with some A-list artists that are absolutely on fire with talent. I've been working alongside and I guess you could say managing, if you will, a couple people that have been in some serious bands. Slash's Snake Pit had a second issue of the band back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So Rod Jackson, who's the front man and singer for that, is a personal friend I've known for many years, and He was, on the second album for that with Slash. And a
Amazing
few other-
voice.
Yeah,
God has
absolutely
an
amazing.
absolutely amazing,
Totally.
incomparable voice.
Yeah,
Can go
totally just on
anywhere
fire.
he wants with it.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And then we've got Buck Johnson, who's the backing vocalist and keyboardist for Aerosmith. He's been with Aerosmith for just over 6 years now.
Also part of Hollywood Vampires.
And he's in Hollywood Vampires as well for the last
Mm-hmm.
almost 2 years. Because Johnny Depp, Alice Cooper, and a few others are in Vampires, and
It's
Joe
their own-
Perry.
Have you heard of that band? You got to look. I feel like
Right.
you haven't.
No,
Yeah.
I do. Johnny Depp's band, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So Alice Cooper started this second version of a band called the Hollywood Vampires.
Right.
And Joe Perry from Aerosmith and Johnny Depp got on the phone not too long ago and asked Buck, would you like to join the band? So Buck is also in the Vampires. And then we have Damon Johnson, no relation to Buck, but they are
many
longtime
Johnsons.
friends. They started off singing in clubs and bars back in Alabama back in the day. And Damon went on to form Brother Kane. And they also were in a band together called Whiskey Falls, and they went their separate ways. Damon went and actually became the lead guitarist for Alice Cooper. And so there's a lot of circles, going back and forth, and I got to know Damon over the years through Buck, and very fortunate and very grateful for Damon as well. So there's some really great people that have given me a chance to work with them
Right.
versus me, doing something for them.
Right.
They're doing something for me, and that's where the team comes into play. When you're working with people that are absolutely, honestly, authentic, accelerating and doing something that they have passion for. That's all they do. They don't have jobs at Walmart or Target on the off season. They're pure 24 hours a day musicians. And so the backstory, the behind the scenes of who they are and how they perform off the stage and the business side is something I've been very grateful to be around. And they've taught me a lot. They've taught me a lot about myself and the industry. I couldn't possibly tell you that this all happened overnight and it was like flipping a switch in a microwave and
Well,
all of
tell us a
sudden,
little bit about how it happened.
It started once upon a time. I was working in the industry that I also have been around for a while and got involved in meeting some celebrities and musicians, and they were asking, would you like to be involved in the management or the production side? And so through osmosis and getting to be around the people in that industry, I met a lot of more people, and also had to do with the fact my father's a professional musician here in town, and so I've been around music all my life.
So what was the main genre of music?
Growing up, it was swing, jazz, big band. I grew up, going to rehearsals with my dad and sitting behind the kit when they were taking their break on Thursday nights at Fresno State. Dr. Larry Sutherland was the band director for the Statesman, and then I was just in junior high at the time, and I got the bug. And then obviously I discovered rock and roll and girls and everything else in between. And it just always stuck with me. Music has always been in my veins. I've just been very fortunate over the last 17, 18 years to be around it more. And if you strive to do a good job, and you're loyal to yourself and you're loyal to the people you work with, like anything, you'll go further.
Right.
And so my hard work has nothing to do with me being very talented. It's just persistence and constant input. Always stay busy, stay engaged, and stay working, and you will get far. It doesn't have to do with the music industry. It could be with the automotive industry. It could be anything. And so I've just stayed with it, and it's paid off. And I've been very fortunate. I'll repeat myself, that the people I've been involved and around have put me further, not the other way around necessarily.
So do you play too?
I do play. I play the drums. I play the piano. I play.
But are you still
The
actively
guitar.
playing with some of these guys? You guys get together and jam,
no.
or?
I'll jam a little bit once in a while, or I'll warm up a band.
You're
from
not
time to time.
intimidated, are you? To play?
I am.
Well, let's
yeah.
not push the button.
Yeah.
We have Plus the band.
We do have Plus the band. I've got a side project that has got some A-list people that I started about 3 years ago. But I don't play. I don't have the chops to perform in front of a live audience.
I bet you do. You're just like nervous about it. I bet
Maybe.
you do well.
Maybe.
It's always the
That'll be
people like
another
that that do the
conversation.
best.
Yeah. No, I've been very fortunate growing up in a musical family to play and learn the trade, if you will. And I know the trade a little bit to keep going. But I let I let the musicians do their thing. I handle the business side, and yeah, it's a lot of fun though, because like anything, it's the prep on the front end. You know, booking the show, press, PR, you name it, merchandise, whatever it takes. The day of the show, it's an absolute rat race. It's absolutely chaos on steroids. But when that first bar of that first song hits and the lights go on and the show starts, it's all worth it. Then after the show, it's another bit of chaos, but it's that hour and a half set. It's that 90 minutes. It's that 2 hours. It's whatever it is. That show is the Mount Everest of all that work. And those people that are performing are depending on other people to get to that stage. And it's a lot of fun. It pays off, and people, they smile and they thank you, and you become, like I said, that team. And so in this industry where artists are looked upon kind of like second-rate citizens, you know, they're not treated with the same dignity as maybe actors or politicians
Or football players.
Of course. You know, oh, it's just the musician. Oh, it's just the guitar player. It's just the drummer. We don't need to make sure he's taken care of, or, you know, it's just the band.
Right, I get it.
That's
You
just
know.
percussion. We can have a band without the percussion, right?
Exactly. and a lot of people don't understand the sacrifice and working for nothing and doing bar gigs, or, you know, playing for next to nothing, or in the industry now, it's pay to play, where you actually have to pay the venue
Right.
to play at a to play a gig.
To tour, yeah. To
Yeah,
concert,
it's a lot of work. You know, writing songs, producing songs, recording, tracking, live performance.
Staying in the media right now, you know, it's
Yeah.
got to be difficult. So we're reaching out that hand, and I think they're reaching their hand back as a community. You know what I mean? So it's just really cool getting
Yeah.
that to come full circle
No,
during COVID.
no,
and everything.
definitely. It's a trade that has a lot of perks, but there's a greasy underbelly to the music industry. And a friend of mine produced a documentary a few years back called The Hired Gun. And Fran is an epic producer. The man is on fire. He took A-list musicians, Liberty DeVito, Kenny Aronoff, Alice Cooper's involved, Glenn Sobel from Alice Cooper's band, you name it, a slew of people that are hired guns in the industry. And he exposed what actually takes place that people like yourself and even me aren't aware of, how A-list bands have these hired guns. And so that was an inspiration for me for On the Patio as well.
Explain a little bit more about that.
Yeah, the hired guns are, you know, the drummer, the guitar player. They're not actually part of the band. They're just hired to do a tour, or they're hired to do a session for an album. So they don't get the royalties. You know, they're just a
Wow.
hired gun. And so Fran did that documentary, and I spoke to him a few years ago, right when he was getting ready to do distribution. And I discussed On the Patio with him and a few things. He had mentioned his next project, which is just around the corner. It's called Who You Gonna Call? And he's been partnered up with Ray Parker Jr. from Ghostbusters for that. And so that's his next installment. And so I'm mentioning Fran, which has nothing to do with On the Patio, but it does, because that friendship, if you will, or that networking is in the main artery of my industry, or the industry that I enjoy. And so for me to be involved with him, or him bouncing off of me and vice versa, and then meeting up with Sam and the Patio Girls, it just takes and puts groundswell to what I'm trying to achieve, and that's enjoy you know, a project, if you will, and trying to take it to the next level. And here we are today talking to you. And it's a cross-pollination of giving you content for your show.
Right.
And you're helping us, and we're Fresno proud.
And Armenian proud.
Armenian proud, which is another subject that is unfortunate at the moment, what's happening, you know, in the region, which is not hitting mainstream media.
We did a show on that, and they
I was gonna
actually
say.
took it. Was banned from sharing it on Facebook. So
Yeah, it's
we know
unfortunate. It's unfortunate, you know. There's a lot of people out in the world that are heroes. I did a little bit of a piece with a very close friend of mine who's a captain in the Armenian army, who just came home for a few days recently, who's been on the front lines for 37 days. And you don't get to hear about that.
Not at all.
You guys
You
can
don't.
hear about it on onthepatio.rocks.
Yes,
Just
that
to let you
segment's
know.
on the show. haven't been censored yet, and we kept it very light for security reasons also.
That's smart.
But and it's not just an Armenian situation. The world has a lot of conflicts happening that will never hit the mainstream news or media. I understand COVID and the election and the riots and the protests are big money makers for the networks. Let's face it, that's what sells.
Right.
Mainstream media is about sensationalism. You're not going to get a lot of money for a feel-good story. You're never going to get, oh, that's really great. I'm really happy to see that. The news, the lead into any news broadcast is a lot of doom and gloom. The first, 7, 8, 9 minutes before they hit the sports or the weather. And unfortunately, the world that we live in is not a nice place, but there are some great people out there. And the show is part of that as well.
And that's what I love that you're highlighting, because when you say about like the perception, I mean, a lot of us think, oh, you're a rock star, so you're all about drugs and strippers. Yeah. A lot of people think it's that party lifestyle,
Right.
like, oh, you're living that life. But they're doing a lot of philanthropy around the world.
They
and
are.
You're going to focus on that, so we know that besides, it's not just that they're working hard. They're not just about the party lifestyle. That's a different level, like, a fame that some people reach. A lot of these people that are working these low-end places that are paying to
Right.
play, they're not having that lifestyle. And you're
No.
going to focus on the hard work and all the good things they're doing. So I love that, because, you get a lot of misinformation
yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
The artists that I work with are older people. I've worked with some younger bands and artists in the past locally. Most of the people I work with are in their late 30s to mid-50s. And so that party lifestyle, sure, it goes hand in hand with the industry, but let's face it, in order to perform and be on your game, sobriety and being focused
Right.
is really, really paramount. Everyone has a goal, and that's to be authentic and strive for excellence. Because really, if you think about it, their main focus is not necessarily CD sales, because CD sales aren't really the focus
Yeah.
anymore. It's streaming. Live music is what they live for. And so right now it's tough on these artists, mentally, physically, financially. They don't know what to do with themselves. Mentally they're stuck, not being able to go on tour and be part of that family that they're used to being part of. And so I'm really grateful for a lot of people that have taken the time, that have been accessible, that wouldn't normally be, to come on the show and do Zoom interviews or face-to-face. And so with the Patio Girls, we'll take a location and we'll do a little sizzle, little trailer, a little PSA. And I've been fortunate, as we're here at KP Studios today, I've been fortunate to meet KP, and he's another team player. Never met the man, and he took the initiative to just totally take random charge and be accessible and show kindness. And that's part of something else I want to bring up to the glass, if you will, is Fresno's got some great people. We're
We really
always
do.
in the middle of, oh, you're from Fresno, or what are you doing in Fresno? Well, I was born and raised here. I'm a native. My grandfather was a genocide survivor who
too.
migrated here with his grandmother, and scratched and clawed his way to being a very successful artist and someone that was very, successful.
Didn't he paint a mural in the Hotel Fresno?
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
so awesome.
Yeah, so he was a dishwasher at the Hotel Fresno, and he had to leave school at the 3rd grade to support his grandmother. So they found out that he had some artistic ability, and they put him on as the staff artist, and he painted a mural that is probably the oldest living piece of art in town.
They revamped it too.
Love that.
Yes, so
touched it.
they're renovating the Hotel Fresno right now, and that's another story.
It
that
works.
Yeah,
This is why you
yeah.
have to have the show. There's so many
There's
topics
a lot of content.
every time.
Yes, so that's something else I want to bring to the glass, if you will, is the fact that Fresno's got some great culture, musically and otherwise. And someone like Sam and all the other girls that are involved, it's just not the sensationalism of having pretty girls involved. There's going to be some content, and I want them to have the ability to be involved, not just
Right.
me. It's not just about me. And I think you'll see here in the next, I'm hoping 6 to 9 months, another turn of events with where the show's going to go. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm very grateful for the people I've been around and who are involved with the show.
Well, yeah,
I'm
like
grateful as well too.
what I was saying about Sam's background, I mean, you are a great person.
I'm
You
just
get to-
all over the place.
You get to bring a lot of that, I mean, of what you do and your essence to this. So that's part of why I'm excited. I love you, Dane, but I mean, come on. Sam's just too awesome. So it's like that's another layer of...
And she didn't have to shave like I did today, so.
No,
Yeah.
no, I saved that for waxing
Right.
here, but you know.
Right.
Are you Armenian too, Sam? What do I know?
You know, I could definitely pass if I just like turn sideways, you know. But no, I'm not. I'm a mutt of all sorts of other things.
So that's what I was asking about the other girls. Some of the other girls that we could see. Does anybody kind of like Sam, or they have other like such a rich background of doing other things we don't know about in the community?
Yeah, there's a
Maybe
few,
we
and maybe
can showcase those on another time. So we'll have Kate, we'll have Jess,
yes.
we'll have occasionally Cheyenne, and then we've also got she's gonna shoot me.
Elena, she's been involved as well.
Okay. So
we've got
Let me
Kaylee.
just cut back here.
So tell us a
Elena was
little
the
bit
entire
about
start of this.
These
So-
girls, yeah, just a little rundown on these girls that you could share.
Most of them are either aspiring actresses.
So Elena is
Yeah.
a full-time actress. She has quite a few things. You can find her on other platforms, Prime Video, things like that.
Right.
I think she's got one thing on Hulu. I'd have to check with KP on that. But so she's got a full acting background, and then Caitlin has been a model for, I think, roughly 12 years now. Gorgeous girl. We should have had photos to just display on the side here.
We can add that.
Okay.
So does anybody have some of the stuff that you have going on? Because you've been doing this for 6 years, you know, with helping the homeless. I know some of
Caitlin
these
has
other
been
girls are
helping with the
involved.
homeless for about 3 years now. Shy, on and off. I mean, Cheyenne works 70 hours a week, so it's hard to pin her down, but she has also been helping with the homeless for, I think, 4 years, 3 or 4 years now. It's a community thing, but it is a group of friends that we've known each other for about 15 years now.
This is awesome.
I can't wait to talk to you about that one. Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a fun show because you guys have a deep background. These people have a deep background. And like I said, the biggest thing I love about that is you're showing a different side of these
Right.
musicians. I mean,
Right.
because I work in the industry where I see them, a lot of it's physical. They're breaking down their stuff all the time. People
That's
just don't
right.
even know. I see that and I'm like, do you need help with that? I mean, they're carrying, who wants to, after a huge performance,
After a
take
2-hour
down
set,
all
let's,
your
all right.
stuff? And I mean, I get exhausted watching
It's
them, and I work hard.
dozens of hours before and after a 90-minute set. And people think, oh, it's just like Disneyland. You show up at Disneyland and everything's magical. It's not magical. And that's the premise of the show. And it's not just the music. I'll go back to referring to Tony for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
That man spent a lifetime dedicating a craft that he's perfected, not only in the paramilitary community and being a covert operative, but the man has formed a security company called Mosaic. He also has a foundation called humanslavery.com. His foundation is conjoined with other agencies around the world and actually vetted, verified, confirmed. He consults, along with others, an organization that consults the Vatican and the Pope about human trafficking. So this man does not just take his fame of being an actor or working in the security field for his own benefit. He gives back. And so this man is making huge dents in the can that he's circling on a daily basis, fighting something that you don't hear about.
Another thing you were talking about, the mainstream media,
Right.
the numbers are just astounding on
It's-
human trafficking. I mean, we
it's-
had somebody that's doing a documentary right now on it, and it's wow.
It's unfortunate. And unfortunately, COVID is a great camouflage for many, many organizations that are criminal to exploit
To
human
take
trafficking
advantage
right
of,
now.
yes.
Because all the focus with law enforcement, COVID, it's a situation that you don't hear about because, let's face it, the newscast is less than 30 minutes with commercials, right? So, and no one wants to hear about human trafficking in their own backyard. It happens here. Breaking the Chains is an organization here in Fresno that is absolutely
Yes.
insane. People should be absolutely grateful for those women at Breaking the Chains. Absolutely on fire.
Some people that work for that organization, very,
Absolutely.
very good.
And the Fresno Police Department, joining with them, and The new mayor-elect, Chief Dyer, has done amazing things. We can go into politics for a minute, but you can't dispute the fact that there's a community effort to help rid this problem. And that's why I wanted to speak about Tony for a minute, because he has been a huge supporter of me, and putting me into a different realm of motivation and support. And what he's doing, you will never hear about unless you go actively to a website or YouTube or otherwise. He doesn't flaunt it. He doesn't need to. He's in the right place where he needs to
Right.
be. And so it's my job to flaunt it. And I've been very blessed to know him. I'm very grateful to him.
Where are we going to see this show, and when is it going to premiere?
Well, it's on at random cycles at the moment. On the patio.rocks is where you'll find a lot of the clips and segments. We have quite a few interviews and shows and segments already ready to go to post.
Are you streaming it on Facebook and other channels too, or just we have to go to on the patio.com?
You
That's
go
just
to-
fine.
If you go to onthepatio.rocks, it'll direct you to the YouTube
patio.rocks.
channel. Yes.
Okay.
And right now we're doing some Instagram and Facebook pushes.
Okay.
We're just trying
So
to
we
get
need
a
to go to
feel.
on the patio.rocks.
We
Right.
do. A lot of what we've done so far is still in post edit right now.
Right.
So it's going to be coming up. I want to say probably just before the beginning of the year we'll start releasing content, or just after.
Correct.
But because of COVID and everything, it's.
Oh,
I mean, not that I want it to
totally
stay, but at the
understandable.
moment,
No.
let's gather that content while we're
Oh,
able
yeah.
to. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Right.
Um,
I tried to add 2 more hours to the day to make it a 26-hour day, but it got shot down.
I
And,
would like to have 34-hour days, just, I mean, with 2 naps. Yeah.
and naps
A
are
second
good.
and a third
Yeah,
breakfast.
what is that?
Naps and coffee.
Oh, God, we couldn't get through the whole thing without me snorting. could we?
Yes. That's her trademark
Okay.
snort.
Oh, we like, see, these are the kind of things that we want to bring up.
Yes.
We better find on the patio.
Yes.
Yes.
And-
Yeah,
and-
you'll definitely hear me snort
And the
on
basis
patio.
of on the patio was we were kicking around with a friend of mine about 2.5 years ago, having cigars and a cold drink in the middle of the night. We're both Harley riders, and we were critiquing some music that we were fans of and knew some of the artists, and it just like, oh, we're on the patio, his big screen's on, we're having so that's how the name came about. But then it stuck, and so at the end of the day, because it is off the wall, it kind of sticks. And I don't really mind what the name is. What I do mind is that the people that come on are genuine people
And the
doing good
content
things,
that
and
we
the,
put
and the
out is-
content.
Well, I mean, this team already just seems really cool. I'm really excited to see what you guys do. But I was asking if you guys stream it on other services like Facebook, because we would love to share it. I think a lot of people don't know that it helps every time you share
does.
these episodes
I think
or
we will
these,
be.
because I want
Eventually.
to. And people don't know this. Share this episode. We want
Right.
to share these things to get these words out. This is how we have to spread it among ourselves, because we
Right.
don't have mainstream media. So we have to use each other to share.
No, and it's
news.
interesting you bring that up, because nowadays it's just not network TV or cable or satellite.
Or just a website. It's Facebook
Right.
and Instagram TV.
Right. There's
Right.
so
Brought to
many
you by
platforms and so
your
much
click.
information flying. How do you stand out in the tall weeds? You know, it's really difficult.
Yeah, and that's why we have to all network each other, and you have these friends
Absolutely.
in this team. So if everyone just shared, if everybody watching today shared, that would be really cool, and we
No.
can get some differences made, some
It's
changes.
It's an interesting world, because in the old days it was analog, it was magazines and books, and now everything's digital, and the platforms are changing, the genres are changing, the age groups are changing. The dynamics of who your followers are changing.
Right.
What's popular this week wasn't popular last week. You know, it's a
Orange
morphing.
is the new pink, girlfriend. Orange is the new pink.
That's right. You know, trying to stay in a current mode is really difficult. But if you stay constant and consistent, and you stay true to what you believe in, it will succeed. And we've been very successful. We've gotten some great press. We've gotten some
and
great
that great
interviews.
content will continue
Yeah.
to flow in, because you know, just like yourself, you stick with good people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You do have a
Right.
following because you stay true to what you believe in and you haven't deviated.
And like you said, it's the team. I mean, I'm always blessed. I'm always like, wow, I actually, this person's giving me 30 minutes of their time.
I was
It
just
never
gonna say
ceases.
thank you so much for having
Well,
us
no,
on
the-
today,
It's
because
amazing.
yeah,
No, it's
you
very-
guys are great, but it's amazing to, sometimes. I mean, and you know, because your list is like when you're like, well, this person's giving me.
But it
their
works
time.
two ways. You're
It's-
giving us
wow.
time. And so at the end of the day, if you recognize the fact that not everything revolves around you, There's other people involved. Yourself, Sam, the other girls, my family, KP. It's not just one focus. And I think that's the rewarding part about working with people. If I didn't like working with people, I wouldn't be here. I'd be stuck in a cave somewhere sitting behind a terminal, doing code. Nothing wrong with that. Not disparaging anybody that's doing code, by the way. But no, if you didn't want to work with people and didn't want to reach out and showcase some things that are going on. We recently did an interview with a photojournalist and a photographer and a videographer by the name of Greg Waterman. He's been in business for almost 40 years, actually over 40 years. Pitbull, System of a Down, Nirvana, Jeff Beck. The list is incredible.
And he's an incredible photographer and videographer.
Just insane.
The opportunities he's gotten to be just on set, on stage, things like that.
All over the world. Just amazing. And so, for me to know him and reach out to him, and unfortunately we couldn't do a sit down because he's in Miami, to spend time with him and to hear the stories that couldn't go to post because the interview was over an hour long. But those are the things that I'm really grateful for. The people like Greg, Buck Johnson, Ryan Roxy, Kenny Arnoff, just to name a few. Billy Sheehan, bass player from Mr. Big, Talus. He was in David Lee Roth. Just amazing list of people that are going to be on the show that you don't necessarily know about.
But
No,
we
you
the
know
fun.
about them, and you know the drum riffs that they've done because they're absolutely epic.
But
You
we
know
don't
the
know them-
guitar
we don't know
solos
their
they've
names.
done, but you don't know their names.
Yeah.
Those moments in your life that are like shaped by the music that's playing in the background, these
Right.
people have influenced that, and I think
Yeah.
it's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful.
We will make an announcement on the show. We haven't made the announcement yet, but you're the first, and because you're a sister in the Armenian hood, Liberty DeVito from Billy Joel's band is going to be on the show.
I love that. Billy Joel's like one of my favorites.
Your
Like my favorites.
Go-to.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
really exciting.
That's very exciting, and I sat down with Liberty not too long ago, and you would think, well, the man's got decades in the business. He's 67 years old. He's got a young toddler. You would think, well, why would he give me the time and so forth to be on the show? And speaking with him, it was a changing moment to hear a man so successful in the business and had gone through so much with that breakup with Mr. Joel and then the reconciliation recently.
That's going to be an amazing story.
It's an amazing story, and he's got a book that just came out in July. You would think we were just talking like this. We didn't even it wasn't not even an interview. It was just a conversation.
The man behind the piano, man.
Exactly. And so that's the story. Liberty DeVito, regarded by Kenny Arnoff to be one of the great drummers, who Kenny Arnoff's a great drummer, who made John Cougar Mellencamp famous for Jack and Diane, that breakdown beat. Those are the people that I'm absolutely on fire to talk to and have them on the show.
I'm on fire to hear this. So yeah, I really hope that we can share. I will share all of this.
that's very
When
kind
it
of you.
comes
We
out.
got to do a cameo with Sparkle on the show too. By the way,
That would be fantastic to have
Absolutely.
Sparkle on the show. We could make her an honorary patio girl.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Well,
Where
thank
can we
you.
follow your personal social medias? Is there a patio Instagram?
No, we don't have a patio Instagram
we
yet.
have a patio Instagram.
Well, we have on the patio.rocks. We don't have a patio girl Instagram
No,
yet.
we do not have a patio
We,
girl
we
So
Instagram.
should
do
come
have
out
a
with
patio
a,
Instagram.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
On the
yes.
patio.rocks.
And
Yes.
then
It's our
just
IG
Dean
tag.
Kasparian on Instagram and Facebook, and Samantha Wolf on both.
and then a Facebook page.
I believe
You have the
it's
On the Rocks Facebook
The
page.
Samantha
Yes.
Wolf or something. I don't
Yes.
know.
I got to look through. I had 600 likes for pages that I didn't know. I'm kind of dumb. I'm like, I have to go through all of. So if you ask
a
me,
lot
I'm
of
sorry.
content.
I'll
So
look.
dug up into the
It's-
Facebook that you're like, oh, this exists
Well,
too.
I don't know how to. Yeah, I'm dumb.
Same.
a lot.
So I'm
So
trying to like.
same.
I'm starting to go just click because I feel bad at it. This has gone on for a while. Like,
Well, we used to go to the grocery store, and there's only 1 or 2, 3 types of cereal, and there, you go online now. There's just too much. So I tried to keep it simple. We do have a Twitter account that needs to get a little bit more.
updated.
Yes, it's ever constant input, and you know that to be able to stay engaged and bring traffic to whatever platform.
Right. No, it's a lot of work.
It's a
I
lot
just
of
wanted
work.
to get it out to where we can see you guys. So if there's,
Yeah, absolutely.
So is there a Facebook page or
There's On the Patio Rocks
on Facebook?
on Facebook,
Instagram,
and Twitter. That's
Okay.
right. And then the website is
We'll get
simply,
that Patio Girls
on the
Instagram
patio.
going next month.
yeah. And then next year we'll have a calendar.
This month. It's the beginning of a new
We'll have
month.
a
do
Patio
this month.
Girls calendar,
Yes.
and some figurines.
I don't think you can fit my figure in a figurine.
I want a Sam doll.
A Sam doll. Yes.
But I also want a Dean doll
Sam doll.
too.
Well, that might take some doing.
Oh my
I'd have
goodness.
to come with a little Bic
Sam
or
doll.
Gillette shaver.
Oh, and when we go on the patio, when we go on the website, how are we going to know when new content's there? Is there something that we subscribe to, or
You can. Right now, what we're doing, Sparkle, is right before, during, and after a show's released, I'll go on with the girls.
Okay.
or
With
sometimes
two or
I
three
myself.
releases of basically
Yes.
a promo.
We
for-
have to follow you on everything?
Right. So we'll send out a little trailer, a little sizzle reel, a little PSA to let people know. Oh, hey, by the way, click on the patio.rocks.
Right on.
And I'll have the girls even get involved and engaged, because let's face it, like I said, I'll be 70 in just a couple of weeks, and my face is only good for about a minute before people want to click to something else. So, but,
Thank you guys for
Thank you
And if
very
anybody
much.
has
Yeah.
any kind of charity or community outreach that you guys would like promoted on the show, just go ahead and reach out to us.
Absolutely.
We did a Western Wildfires benefit recently and
That's
released
right.
a new song. That hasn't been released yet technically, because
Correct.
that's how the business works, but it's coming.
That's right.
It's been done, and there's a lot of efforts out there
Yes.
to reach back.
And that's something
all
I'll-
across statewide, and
I'll push on for a second and say goodbye, is these artists that we're working with are not in it necessarily for the fame or the money all the time. So the Western Wildfire project that we decided to put on was out of the kindness of the hearts of the people that are writing, going to sing and perform on that song. And the benefits and the proceeds will go to the victims of the Western wildfires.
great song, by the way. Absolutely awesome song.
Yes. So we're
Mr. Amazing Voice is definitely a piece of that.
Yes.
If anybody caught on. But
yes. No, it's
can't
going to
wait.
be very, very epic. And another Fresno Proud event, Jeff Aiello, Maximus Media, Randy Herron. There's some great people involved from this town. I will throw a bone out to Maximus and Jeff Hall, who's no longer with us, and everyone over there that have been very supportive as well. It's a community effort, and I'm very proud to be from this town. And I thank you very much for having us today.
Thank you so much, Sparkle.
Yeah. Thanks, Sparkle.
Oh, yeah.
True soul. Ooh, I'm loving everything that you do. And I really love the way that you move. And I gotta get a little closer, cause you hot as hell like a toaster. And I really wanna get you, baby. Baby, please don't do it wrong. You know that this your song. So girl, come on and move it for me. Ooh, baby, I taste it in your sweat. Love, sex, and no regrets. So I'm calling all bets for you. I can't wait to get you home. You know what I'm on, so come on. If you ready, girl, let's go. Let me hit it like a pro. Baby, I'm so. One thing you should know is that I love when you ride it. I be touching your body. Said I love when you ride it. The way you moving your body. I love when you ride it. I love when you ride it. Girl, I be touching your body. Said I love when you ride it. The way you moving your body, I love when you ride it. I love when you ride it. Hey, the way you move it look incredible. Yeah, and girl, that thing it looks so edible. Girl, won't you You sit there on my face and I'm gonna let you ride away. Girl, watch me clean up all that plate for you. Ooh, but I won't play when I'm doing my thing. I'm gonna make you sing, so baby say my name. And I'm a beast with this mouth. Girl, you know what I be bout. So let me go down south. But first, I can't wait to get you home. You know what I'm on, so come on. Either way, get down the ride. Won't you let me get aside? Baby, don't fight it. You know what I'm on. I love when you ride it. I be touching your body. Said I love when you ride it. The way you moving your body. I love when you ride it. I love when you ride it. Girl, I be touching your body, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Said I love when you ride it. The way you moving your body. I love when you ride it. I love when you ride it. Just ride it, baby. That's all you gotta do.
Welcome to the Sparkle Show. With us, we have Trousseau. How are you today?
I'm all right. How you doing? How you doing?
Oh, you look great. Look at you, man. This is
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. You silly. You silly.
so. You've been doing this for a while. Tell me what
Right.
is going on right now. I know it's COVID, but you're still a busy man.
Yeah. Right now, I'm filming in a movie. They got like a web series called The Connected. It's supposed to air on Hulu when we finish. So right now, I'm filming in that, and definitely dropping some jewels for this album. It's gonna be some nice jewels. I'm still recording some of them.
So you're
This new album got
singing
coming out.
the series. So what's the series on Hulu? Is it all singing or you're acting too?
No. I'm acting. I'm acting. Like I think I play a gangster in this movie. Yeah.
You're singing and acting?
Yeah. That's what I do. That's what I do. Yeah.
You do it all? You do everything?
Yeah.
In Ohio too, or are you filming this somewhere else?
No, this is in Ohio. Only thing I've done outside of Ohio is when I've done this movie a while back. We had to film it in Texas, but yeah,
So what
this is
part
in
of Ohio do you live in?
I live in Cleveland, the best part of Ohio.
And that's where you shot the this series for Hulu?
Yeah. That's where we're doing it at in Cleveland. Yeah, different parts of it. Yeah.
Wow, you're like really doing it. And so all your experiences that you're thinking about, is it all like it's all based on Ohio?
Well, yeah, based off in Cleveland. Yeah, we gonna just say Cleveland because Ohio, that's a big state, but it's just Cleveland.
Well, I mean,
Just
that's like
small
Eminem,
city.
everything was about Detroit. So it's like, I didn't know if it was
Yeah,
like.
right. Wait, that's Detroit, not Michigan. So
Exactly, yeah. And that is true. There is a big difference.
right.
So when did you start filming this series? Was this during COVID or before COVID?
Actually, they started doing it a year ago. They already filmed the first season. The second season, they picked me up about a month ago.
So this was going on. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's basically about how different crime families connect. You got the Wilkerson crime family, you have the Italian mafia, and you got the police. And they, not saying the police are crime, but it is some corrupted police out there. You feel me?
We're not
How
saying
they all
that.
connect. Yeah, in different places. So it's basically about that. My role is going to be a gangster in one of the families, and one of the crime boss families. So
And
I'm
you
gonna put it
play
down,
a
show 'em I get down
gangster?
there. Yeah,
Did you have any
definitely.
experience or was that a far reach?
I grew up in Morris Black. That's one of the projects up in housing projects in Cleveland. So being around them type of people, I've been around that all my life. So it wasn't that hard to adapt.
But how did you get, okay, so you have the experience, you've been singing your whole life. How do you get into acting and getting into acting out there? That's a big leap, kind of.
Well, it started when I was a kid. In Cleveland, we have this thing called the Caramel House. Have you heard of that?
Tell us
And they
about
had
it.
there's a lot of prestigious people like Bill Cosby. What's that few of them?
Oh, is
I
that
can't.
the one where Demi Moore's daughters went to that one?
Yeah. They
Yes,
came
I
from
have. I
that.
had a friend that went there too. Okay.
I got started doing that, and it was just plays. And when I was a little younger, about like 8. Then I remember when I was like 10 years old, they started bringing in the singing aspect into more of the plays, and I was like, at that time, I didn't think I could sing, so I'm like, I can't sing. I don't want to do this. But I just kept doing it anyway, and I think I rapped in one of the plays.
So you were almost acting before you were singing.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it was always in me, but being scared, just being scared, not having the confidence to do it. I just was sticking to acting and rapping. Singing didn't come along until I was like in 10th grade.
And
I
then
was
you realized you had a voice?
no, yeah, I was a big fan of Usher at the time, and the album 8701 was real popular to me. And I remember a young lady that was in school, she could sing really good. And she just taught me basically how to sing his songs. And I just used that to help me start singing my own songs and developing my own voice and my own sound. But yeah, it was rap at first. At first, I thought rap was cool, but I realized ladies like singing stuff. I mean, they like both, you feel me? But it was easy to approach the women singing versus saying, yo, let me holla at you. You know what I'm saying?
I totally know what you're saying. So this is just really cool. Like all your different experiences have like led to this moment, and the fact that you've been able to do it all in Ohio, like you've never thought about moving out, like where I'm
Oh,
at.
I definitely want to come out there. I definitely want to come out there.
But
There's a
you're
few
making
places I
it
want to
there.
hit out
That's
there.
pretty cool.
It is. It's a hard. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's hard everywhere because especially out LA, everywhere out there. But I will say it's probably more opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but the thing, you're coming from like already having done so much. I mean, it's really cool to even have that experience to being the big fish. And Cleveland's not small. Cleveland is kind of a big pond. So you're a big fish kind of in a big pond. So to come out here, I mean, it's really cool that you're doing what you're doing. A lot of people think,
right,
oh, we can't make it here, and they go to LA just to make it. And it's like, no, you're
right.
doing it where you're at. And that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. But I had my fun traveling doing music. I've been in Atlanta, did shows in Atlanta. I've been to Philly, I did interviews and shows in Philly.
Where was your favorite place?
Favorite place. Favorite place was in like Baltimore. I was in Baltimore. I was at this thing called the Indie Acoustic Soul Live. Dope. That's what actually made me keep doing it because I was actually gonna stop doing music because I just didn't see it going nowhere. Being independent, man, this independent thing is difficult. But I wasn't motivated. I went out there and met some of the most beautifulest indie artists in the world. In fact, the one lady named was Gwendolyn Collins. She's an artist herself, but she was hosting the event, and she was like, just come on in. I came in, met all these different artists, and you would think like coming from where I'm from, when you go in a room full of artists, they don't really. I mean, they'll listen to you, but they don't really want to hear what you're doing because they want everybody to hear what they're doing. But these people were so supportive. I'm talking, it was crazy. They said, you got any CDs? I didn't know people still bought CDs. So I was just using links and stuff like that, Apple and junk like that. They was like, next time bring some physicals. But everybody in the room went and bought my music right then and there. I mean, right then they Apple and just purchased it right then and there. And it was beautiful.
So where can we buy your music?
You can Google me, baby. I'm everywhere. True Soul Davis. Oh, everywhere. I'm talking everywhere. I was in the article in Cali. They wrote about me. I'm telling you, girl.
Well,
I ain't
Kenneth
playing with
had sent me your music, so I like. So, what's your connection to Kenneth? We talked about this a little bit.
I met Kenneth because I signed a single deal with a label called White Lion Audio, and they brought Kenneth on. I guess as like a A&R person, and at first he told me, he liked what he seen, but he was like, yo, we got to get behind this True Soul guy because there's a void missing for R&B crooners and just traditional sounding R&B. And I was like, okay, cool. I thought it was all talk because I've met so many people that just be talking. But as of lately, like Kenneth's really been stepping up, helping me get opportunities.
Kenneth really does,
introduce
huh?
me
I
to
mean, he
you.
really makes things happen.
But yeah, I mean, I'm on here with you. I never thought it would have happened, but Kenneth made it happen. So yeah, Kenneth's my guy. Him and Marcellus, they really been behind me, so shouts out to them too in White Lion.
So where are you going to go from here? So you have your indie artists, you have are you thinking of not being an indie artist after all? You're trying to like shoot bigger? What's the end game?
I'll be honest with you. When you're looking at an artist that's like a star, I ain't really a starring artist because I go get it. But wanting to be signed, I mean, just to live a comfortable life and do what you do on the daily is the main objective, is to not punch a clock. But if I can stay indie and not punch a clock and do what I do, why not? I got more control and more freedom when I'm doing it on my own.
That's true. That is really true. So when you signed on to do this show, did you have a manager, an agent, or they just kind of approached you and you just took it on?
I mean, be honest with you, I'm really about the business. So they thought they was talking to a manager when I was emailing and talking and things like that. Because I don't play. You know what I'm saying? I learn from others' mistakes, and I definitely be on my business tip. So I read what I'm signing. I kind of learn what I'm signing. So yeah, they approached me.
I love it. That's such a great story. So where did you see the first season? You said they did a first season, then they brought you on in the second season. Where can we catch the first season? Is that also going to come out on Hulu?
Yeah, it should be on Hulu. It might be. I know they had snippets of it on YouTube, but I know it should be on Hulu. Either
Did you watch it before you actually started going on and
I
being
watched
friends?
it. Yeah, at first I thought it was gonna be cheesy. You know, a lot of some of these independent films be cheesy, but shout out to the man Brandon
Oh,
X,
I
man.
know. I've
The
done some
Connected is
cheesy
dope.
things.
Yeah, it was dope. The gun, like sometimes the gunshots looking corny. The gunshots is real. The storyline is dope. It's dope. It's Brandon do his thing, man. Shouts
You
out to him
must
and his
have
crew.
met some great people.
Yeah, yeah. I met a lot of people, man. Yeah.
Well, tell us about one of your favorites, one of the experiences that you really met when you went out there and did it.
Well, when I did the Connected, only person I met was who was that I met when I was filming before? I met Omar Gooding before. I met him, but the biggest person I ever met, it was my prom weekend or the week like few days before the prom, and Usher had just he's with the Cavs and doing all that. I met him downtown when I was going to buy my prom hat. That was the biggest person I met.
You met him. Did he get to
I
hear
met
you?
him. You know, I wasn't like struck, but I wasn't thinking about singing. I just like, and he was like, "What's up, man?" He did a little hat trick, and I like, "What's happening?" It was him and this tall bodyguard, big nose dude was there, but it was cool. Like it was cool. Like no, he ain't never heard me say. I should have got the blowing, huh? Just he got to going crazy. But no, I ain't do nothing. I just was like, "What's up, man?"
So, are you gonna sing a little bit for us today?
I will when we get there. I'm stay ready. I ain't got to get ready
Oh, I
yet.
love it. Oh my gosh, you're gonna keep us in suspense like this.
Most definitely.
So, what do your parents think about all of this? What's your family think about what you've been doing?
I like this interview. My mother was like a DJ. So me being a kid growing up in them projects, she had all the music you could think of. I had all the albums. She brought home. I said, shush, because we talking albums. You know what I'm saying? But she brought home albums that she was spending at the little record store right on 125th of St. Clair's called Bose or BOS. But whatever. And she brought me all the records. So I was already into music at a different level at a young age. I'm talking Stevie Wonder, Dramatics, Michael Jackson, of course, Jimi Hendrix, all that
Oh
stuff.
God,
But
those
my
are all the
dad,
albums I love.
what? You better talk about innovations. My dad isn't performing himself. He sings, so I already knew I was gonna do it. He's a singer. So
So what
he gave it to me.
what is your dad sing? Is that kind of his jams? Is he a little bit Stevie Wonder-ish?
My dad, no, he more like almost I wouldn't say the OJs, but he was like he one of them what's that guy name from the Dramatics? My mother loves this dude. Ooh, she'd kill me. I can't remember his name. I feel so
Pendergrass?
blank. No, not Teddy P. He wasn't as smooth as Teddy P. He more rough like the lead singer of Dramatics. He had like a more of a powerful sound. He was more of a powerful bring it from the bottom type singer. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Me, I didn't
so
like that
that's
at first.
would you guys ever collab, you and your dad?
We working on it. It's just every time we get to that point, something come up. We working on it. We doing something like Gerald Levert and his dad, Eddie Levert. We doing something. We working on it.
That's got to be impressive. So you kind of took on the family business, so to speak, because I mean, everyone had the music in them. Your mom and your dad.
Yeah, and I'm trying to take it to another level.
Well, we want to watch you growing on. I can't wait to hear you say, "I don't know why you're doing this to me."
It's coming.
It's coming. So, okay, so you got the team, you got with White Lion. Have you collabed with any of the artists on the White Lion label? We've had several on here, and they've never sent me a bad artist. They only have talent. So it must be really great that you're on it.
They got some dope artists on there. I haven't done anything yet with any White Lion artists, but I've done some with plenty of others, but not White Lion yet.
So who do you want to name drop?
Who have I done something with? I've done something with a young lady by the name of Catherine Denell. She's a dope singer out this way. I've done something with a young lady by the name of Aisha. She's actually on my new album, Soul Fire. See in the background here, the artwork. She's actually on that album. Sheesh, I've done some of my boy Millie J Mill out here in Cleveland, a rapper guy. Got a song called Queen for all the queens out there. I got a few, and I got a few that's coming up now that I ain't gonna name, but a few coming up on this album too.
What
A few
is the
more.
Cleveland rap scene like? Is it kind of like Detroit? Is it really known as that? What's come out of Cleveland? Like, tell us a little bit about who's come out of there and like what the scene's like now.
Well, now it's real trendy, but we didn't have some big wigs like MGK come out of here. We had who else we have on the rap side? Well, of course we can go way back. We had Bone Thugs and Harmony. They set the trend, you know. But other than that, we
I
had
actually was friends with them for a hot minute, like for
oh
years because
word.
they would come and play in LA. I lost I lost all the contacts on my phone, so I haven't talked to them in years. But I love Bone Thugs.
Oh yeah, we had Q Money. You know, keep your head up, homie. I know you fighting that case, but Q Money with that work. We had a guy named Chip the Ripper. Guy named Al Fats. They actually out there where you at. Al Fats and Chip the Ripper. They moved out that way. They've been out there for a while. But yeah, we had some talent come out this way. Of course, we on the R&B tip, Avant. Then the late great Joe Levert. We had some fire come out of here, man. Then we got me, True Soul Davis. You already know.
So one thing Kenneth had told me about, he said that you guys have to work really hard because I sent other artists to him and he kind of tells them, you know, you have to work too. You can't just sit back, you know, just get record deals coming, you know, just get the concerts. You have to do a lot of stuff on your own. Tell us a little bit about that, a lot of the work you have to do on your own.
Man, you got to do it all. I'm talking from the promo. I mean, you could pay for promo, but why not do it yourself? The marketing. That's the hard part for me. I'm trying to find my niche in the marketing. You do a lot of the paperwork. I do my own paperwork, my own publishing. I collect I send BMI and SoundScan and Sound Exchange to try to help me collect royalties. But I make connections with DJs and radio personalities, with Radio Ones and things like that. I do it all. You hear me? Write songs. I mix. I record. I do it all. I even send it off to get mastered, but I do it all. It's a grind. It saves money to do it all, but it's a grind because at the end of the day, hard work pays off. It beats talent any day.
Right. So are we going to finally get to hear you sing? This is the moment I've been waiting for my entire life.
All right, go get this record. It's called Right Here. I'm gonna just do a little bit of it, and you gonna go get it.
I will go get it, I promise.
When it comes to heartbreak, no, you've had your share of more than few. They build you up with broken promises that didn't come through. But I want you to know that I realize and I see good in you. But when it comes to love, your heart is questioning what is the use. I know what you want, baby, I got it. And when it comes to us, baby, don't doubt it. No, I want to show you that you're fine. Show you just how bright you shine. Love is work best over time. I'm so happy that you're mine, girl. That's just a little piece of my song right
I
here.
love it. Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, go
That
get that.
is so beautiful. Thank
I
you so
appreciate you.
much.
Thank you.
So where can we follow you? I want to know everywhere we need to follow you and what we need to be looking at to see everything you're doing.
Facebooks, Twitter, Instagram. I'm about to get my Snapchat back cracking. Everywhere.
So what's
True
your
Soul Davis.
Instagram?
True Soul Davis. TrusoulDavis. True Soul Davis. TrusoulDavis. Across the board. And like I said, for you and the followers, baby, just Google me. Just Google me. It's there.
And your Facebook page. It's the same, right?
Everything. Across the board. Got to keep all your ducks in order. You got to be easily found.
I want to see everything that you're doing because you're going to do big things. And maybe when you're not too big next year, if you're not too big, then you can come back and see us.
Next time I'm going to be there with you when we do it. We're going to be sitting right there doing an interview.
I love that. I can go to Ohio.
Oh, you can come on out here. We can do the interview. But it's
I finally have a good reason to go to Ohio.
I know. I heard you had some rough times here.
Russo,
But
thank
it's
you
cool.
so much for coming on the show.
I appreciate you for having me.